Welcome back, everybody. Today we're discussing a topic that we obviously don't want to discuss. It's going to be what's going on in Baltimore today. When I watched the news this evening, basically I was watching the footage of a pharmacy being overrun, and really what I was thinking from my perspective, along with obviously how horrible the situation is up there, is what are those people in that pharmacy doing? Like, how is that affecting them? You see a swarm of 40 to 50 to 60 people storming your store, and you're there, they probably have a staff of 4 or 5 on at the moment. What do you do? So that's basically what prompted this video. And just let me back up a little bit. After the Ferguson incident and the riots and stuff like that, I got an email or a message actually on YouTube. It was from a man named Sanji. Sanji wrote that basically he says, Mr. Guns and Gear, I wanted to take a moment to let you know I own a store in the area of Ferguson where we had riots over the last week. Basically, he says I'm half black and half Indian, so I thought that would help, but in reality, what really helped was the fact that I had a rifle, which was recommended to me by a friend of mine after watching your review. That rifle is he sent a picture of it, and it looks like, from everything I can tell, to be a Wasser 1063. I stood at my door with the rifle. People came by, and you could tell that they wanted to do something, but they just moved to the next store. And he goes on to talk about what happened to the stores around him. Anyway, the point of why I'm sharing this now is that it's very fitting. There's nothing that the people in Baltimore, the people in that pharmacy tonight, can do about it now, unfortunately. But what I would say is I would be willing to bet, just historically speaking, they were probably unprepared, probably were not armed, and not that being armed is a whole lot you can do when there's 60 people coming at you. But certainly it's better than nothing if things get out of control and you have to use lethal force. And I don't know what happened in that story yet. As I'm recording this, it just happened like an hour ago, so the reporting's not there. But that's not the point of the story. The point of the story is, as I mentioned before, we live in an age of the most reliable firearms we've ever had, the most inexpensive, at least relatively, for those firearms. And at an age where information on these firearms here on YouTube or other places is readily available. So if you have any inclination that you may ever need one, like this gentleman did here who wrote me from Ferguson, highly recommend it. Look at that Wasser. It's a $600, $700 gun currently in most places. And that thing, how much did it save him in terms of insurance costs, man hours, running a store, all that stuff? It's probably a worthwhile investment. Thankfully, in his situation, he didn't have to use it. But I saw several instances in Ferguson, really going back to the LA police riots, with folks, shop owners, standing on the roofs with AR-15s as a deterrent. And those things tend to work. Obviously, we don't want to get to the point where we start pulling triggers, but certainly as a deterrent. And if you need it in a last-ditch effort for self-defense, by all means, having that with you when you need it is huge. Obviously, you can't do anything about it when you're sitting there thinking about it, and people are rushing you. So you got to be ready. So that's pretty much it. I guess it's sort of people are going to react politically to a lot of different things. Also going to react, to everything that's happened in Baltimore with the police situation. We really don't know what happened yet. That will play itself out. But the reality is, these thugs that are victimizing everyone in their own community who had nothing to do with it are a danger and a real threat to people in that community. I used to live in Baltimore. I used to live, I think it was Edmondson, Highway 40. So I used to live in Baltimore for a couple of years. I'm pretty familiar with pretty much everything that I see on the cameras. I know where all those places are. And it's heartbreaking, unfortunately, to see this kind of damage to people, again, who had nothing to do with it at all. And probably are good, hardworking Americans, and now they're getting their lives, their life's work trashed by thugs, criminals, losers who have nothing better to do. So that's sort of it. I just wanted to make the video as sort of a message, if you will, to, if you're on the fence, or if you have a friend who's on the fence about getting a firearm. I mean, there's so many $600 AKs, $800 ARs that are perfectly fine functional rifles that, even if they don't ever plan on being gun people, it's good to have, I assure you, in situations like this. And today it's Baltimore. Who knows what city it'll be tomorrow? We don't know. So that's sort of the thing, and you want to be prepared ahead of time. That's about it, guys. If you have any questions about this or anything else I talk about here on the channel, by all means, post below in the comment section. If you have questions that you need suggestions on, friends that you need suggestions for, by all means, I have 600 plus videos here that you guys can reference. If not, you can ask those questions as well over at my Facebook page. But thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for subscribing, and I hope to see you in the next video.